How's it going, guys? Today I'm back with another video, and apologies for not posting anything sooner because I've been stuff with like finals because I'm in college, so I've been a bit busy the last couple weeks. But now I'm back. School's done, so expect a lot more videos in the near future. All right. So I was thinking about switching it up a little bit today, and we're gonna do a tier list instead. So instead of my usual like talking to the cameras, I'm gonna be showing you what I'm gonna be doing. All right. So let's get right into it. So this is mostly um, a tier list on investing apps. So I'm gonna keep all these apps on the list are gonna be the top 15 apps, but they're gonna be mostly stock first apps. So any of the crypto main apps like Gemini or eToro aren't going to be on this list. Maybe I'll make another one that focuses more on those. All right. So let's start off with the first one, which is Acorns. All right. Acorns is I have used Acorn before, and it's a bit of a mid app. And the reason why it's not solid is because you pay a subscription fee for it to actually use it, and just putting in spare change as an investment and you paying a subscription fee on top of that, I don't believe is worth it. So we're gonna put it mediocre now. But as I do put on the others, some of them might change depending on where the others are going as well. All right. Betterment. Betterment is a decent app to say the least. You need no minimum to start. You can set your goals, but their premium plan is around $10,000. But if you're just using it to just get started and just tracking your progress, I think it's a solid app to begin with. But I wouldn't recommend if you're getting more into stocks and like investing, I would not recommend the app. But for beginners and like media and like amateur traders, it is a solid app to begin with. Next up is Charles Schwab. I have a really high opinion on this. I do think it's godly tier. It's a bit. It's very well balanced. They have great service, but the only downgrade I have on this is that's no crypto, which is fine because this is mainly if you're investing in stocks. Next up on the list is Fidelity Investments. I have this ahead of Charles Schwab, primarily because I use Fidelity right now, and the difference between Fidelity and Charles Schwab, I can say is they all both have the same thing, but Fidelity's off their tools are a lot more like distinguished and their interface is a lot easier to use, which is why I prefer it. I do have my Roth IRAs in Fidelity, so and I really love their customer service as well. Next up on the list is Ally Investments. All right. I personally do not use this because I bank with Discover. Ally Banking and Investments is basically if you bank with them, your best investment app is going to be Ally Invest, like because of the connectivity it has. Just like if you have mostly Apple products, your best bet would be getting something with Bose that connects with Apple Tech, that connects with their iOS and stuff and all that stuff, right? So just because of that, and it's very like a niche, like it's for a more niche group. So because of that, I'm gonna give it at subpar right now because their banking system is actually quite decent. Next up on the list is TD Ameritrade. Now I do like this a lot, but I personally have not used it. But their trading algorithms and their trading platform is very, very good. And they do offer a lot of free tools, great customer service. But I can't give it godly, mainly for the reason because they don't offer fractional shares. I do think it's about betterment because they do offer better tools and features than them. But fractional shares is a huge deal for me, so I cannot give it godly. Next up on the list is E-Trade. This was one of the first trading platforms that existed, like to have an actual app for and not like a platform for. Um, they're really good at options trading, and they're really good at automating portfolios. But in today's day, it's not a great app. If you want to trade options, there's better apps for that, like Robinhood or like Vanguard. But it used to be really good, but now I don't know why it exists. There's they don't do anything spectacularly well compared to every other um, app on this list. Next up is M1 Finance, a personal favorite, and I do like this a lot. M1 Finance, they let you um, automate your investments, and it's mainly for long-term traders. So if you're looking to day trade, this is definitely not the one for you. But as I do say, if I haven't said this before, I will say it again. But don't think short term when you're thinking of investing. Investing is holding an investment for a long term. If you're not holding in a stock or crypto for over a year or two, you are not investing. You are just trading and like gambling essentially. But yeah, M1 Finance I really like a lot. They have a lot and lots of stocks options to trade with. You can automate your portfolio to have percentages, and the only downside I have on M1 Finance is they don't do tax loss harvesting, which is when you sell a stock that's gone down in value and replace it with something of near value, and you use that loss to lower your realized gains, which helps you pay less in taxes, which is used by mostly everyone on the trading scene to lower their tax rate because you do pay capital gains on any stocks. So you do pay capital gains and realized gains on any stocks you have made profit from. But I I will put this at godly because I really love the app they have. But Charles Schwab will be ahead of M1 Finance primarily because they do offer long term trading and day trading as well. Next up on the list is Vanguard. This has been on the scene for many years. It's one of the most well known investing firms or apps or whatever you may call it on the earth. Um, it's a great choice for long term investors. One of the downsides I have on this is their site and app is very old fashioned. Many of our parents or our parents' parents grew up with this app, and they most likely have an account with Vanguard, with whether it be their retirement fund or their investment account. So it's not their platform isn't recommended for any modern day users because they're like I said before, their website is very old fashioned and their like database is very out of date. So because of that, I can't give it godly, but it is certainly better than TD Ameritrade and Betterment because of how. Next up on the list is public.com. This is a very interesting one, as many YouTubers as of late have been getting sponsored by them, such as Graham Stephan, right? Um, Public, it's almost like a Facebook or a Twitter for investing. You can see what your friends are investing in. You can see what people are saying about a certain app. It's a very different and unique app compared to all the other ones. So I can't give it a why does this exist, but it's primarily for beginner investors. They don't offer anything unique. They don't offer any they don't offer many features. It's mainly for beginners, but it is very easy to use. So I will give this. I'll give this better than Ally Invest for now. No, I'll give this actually above Acorns because there's no subscription fee and it's for beginners. So public, it is a pretty mediocre app. Next up on the list is SoFi. They offer automated investing and free management for your portfolio, which is very nice. But they also offer auto rebalancing, In some ways, this is very similar to M1 Finance, but M1 Finance does have a lot more stocks available and more features available. So I cannot give it godly or solid. So I would put this at mediocre or subpar because as of late they've been growing and growing even more. Um, they also have limited account types. So this is actually pretty. This is a hard one. 'Cause I'm debating between mediocre and subpar. But so far, I've just never. They don't have any unique factors to their thing. Like they have been growing on the scene lately because of their like investments, such as the Rams Stadium is sponsored by SoFi. But I will put this in subpar just because they haven't really done anything yet, but they're still a humongous brand which is still growing to this day. Next up on the list is Stash, which essentially for beginner users has simplified the process of selecting investments for your portfolio, and they offer a fractional share, which is a huge thing. And you can and they also give you the option to automate your investing, or you can do your investing yourself, which I think is very nice. A problem I have with this is they don't have any retirement accounts, and they don't have Roth, or they don't have tax loss harvesting, which is a big deal technically if you're investing and you're making daily trades. But I don't think I know anyone who uses Stash, but they don't have a unique factor, not anymore, compared to all these other apps. So I want to put this in why does this exist, but I don't know because I don't see it better than SoFi. But just no one has Stash. Like all it did is simplify the process, but Robinhood does this as well. So I'm gonna put this out. Why does this exist? But it's way better than E-Trade. Personal capital. This is mainly for like people who are rich, essentially. Like you get to manage your portfolio and your funds. They offer free tools, but it's mostly for people who are very experienced and they have a lot of money in their portfolio, so they can help manage them. But for in our case, this isn't the best kind of app because if you are rich, you probably have someone in your banking system that's managing your portfolio for you to use. So I will put this in why does this exist? Because it's just a place for you to manage your portfolio if you have over 100K. Now the two big ones, Robinhood and Webull. They're both well-known apps around the whole marketplace. Many people use both. So let's get right into it. Robinhood, probably the founder of like investing apps and commission-free trading. It's very easy and simple, and there's very low cost free to use. They've started adding a bit of crypto, but I can't use that to dictate it because it's not a crypto tier list. The only downside I have with this is it does get sued a lot because they aren't very reliable. Like as I'm sure you've heard in the past, and I've talked about this before, the whole thing with GameStop where some investors on Reddit decided to raise the price on GameStop, which made it skyrocket. But many investors on Wall Street decided this wasn't good, so they restricted traders from taking out their money on the app, which caused lots of lawsuits to be made. So reliability is a huge deal to me, and it should be for everyone when it comes to what you do with your money. You want something reliable, so you know if you want to do something, you can do it immediately, and it's not dictated by the app. So for me, it can't be godly or solid just because of that feature, but it is probably the best beginner app to use if you're a beginner in trading. But if they did have reliability, this would easily be in godly because it's probably one of the best apps out there to use based on just simplicity alone. Last but not least is Webull. This is the app I used when I did a little bit of day trading in my past. Don't day trade. I would recommend not to day trade. 95% of day traders lose money. I did lose some money, but I did gain some money. but it's not recommended. It's not a form of investing. This is essentially gambling, and it takes a lot of time out of your day to track patterns and make analytics and do analytics and buy, sell, trade, all that kind of stuff. So, but it is a very good app. They offer like a lot of research tools, and there are almost no costs, and it's very easy to use. Their interface has a lot of stuff on it, but there's very little educational support. So to use Webull, you have to understand what you're doing. So this is not for the beginner investor. This is more for some amateur or experienced investors who are looking to go further than what they did in the past, because they do offer a lot of analytical tools for you to use. Where would I put this? I think it would be one of the top two. I think it'll be in solid, but I do think it's better than TD Ameritrade and Betterment because they do offer more features in them. But yeah, this is the final tier list. Godly, Fidelity. Godly means near perfection. Fidelity, Charles Schwab, M1 Finance. M1 Finance, I'm a bit biased on because I do use it, but those three were spectacular in trading. So, in my personal opinion, so don't attack me in the comments, right? Because this is my personal list, not objectively based on what other people think and all that stuff. So this is my list. Solid is Vanguard, Webull, Teamy, Ameritrade, and Betterment. Both very decent apps, and they will get the job done. Mediocre, you have Robinhood, Public, and Acorns. Very mid apps, and if you use one of these apps, I would recommend you to switch out in the near future, just so you have something better to work with. I would recommend switching on to Webull or Vanguard or Teamy Ameritrade. Subpar, Ally Invest is for very niche people. If you're banking with Ally, keep using Ally because it is the best app for you to use. But if you don't bank with Ally and using Ally Invest, switch out to one of the better ones. It doesn't make sense for you to be using it. You have better features for you to be using. SoFi, there's nothing unique about it. So I would even recommend Robinhood, even though it's less reliable. But again, it's up to you. It's not financial advice. And the bottom three, Stash, E-Trade, Personal Capital. A very, very, very small majority of people use those apps. I would not recommend those three apps for anyone. I would actually not recommend any of the bottom three apps to anyone. No, actually, that's not true. I would recommend Robinhood and Public to people. Any of the bottom two, Subpar and Why Does This Exist, I would not recommend those five to anyone because I do think there's way better options than those five. But yeah. If you enjoyed this video, keep a like on this video, and if you enjoyed this type of formatted video, I will make more of them so you can see my personal opinion on these types of topics. Alright? So I'll see y'all later, and hopefully, hopefully this helped you out.